What's up, y'all? I'm Leon Frierson, former cast member from Nickelodeon's All That and co-host of the Prime Nostalgia Podcast. And I'm here to ask you to join me in watching the Michael Finkley Show weekly on YouTube. Now, I've been on the show, so I definitely know it's a platform where you'll be educated, informed, and inspired. Now, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on YouTube.
We're kingdom building on the Michael Finkley Show.
Host of the Live Talk Show is Ashli Cotton.
And also with that said, that it's not to put you on blast, it's not to embarrass you, it's not to point.
Founder of the Kingdom Music Group is Pastor Robert Woodbury, and gospel artist Pastor Brian McKnight.
For the first time, I've heard it on Joy 1280, I think it was, and then I heard it on.
All coming up next.
A brighter side, 'cause I've been working all my life just to make it, just to make it, just to make it. I've been working all my life just to make it.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Michael Finkley Show. Thanks for joining us today. And so I think about the show that we're going to have today and our guest. It reminds me of the scriptures, Matthew 6:33, one of my favorite scriptures. It says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, then all these things shall be added unto you." This has taught me so much about life and so much about doing and accomplishing different endeavors in my life. If I keep God first in everything that I do and I continue to have a face to seek him, a mind to seek him, everything else, all the wants, desires, things that we don't even want, right, fully, we're not even thinking about fully, they're going to come to pass. They're going to come to pass because my vision, my tunnel vision is seeking God. And this is the scripture I think about on today. We have some incredible guests today. There are faith-based individuals. These persons are spiritual in what they're doing. They're about their Father's business. Today we have Ashli Cotton, who is the host of the Live Talk Show. And I tell you, the guest that she has on, I was a guest, y'all, so go check out my episode. Okay, go check it out. I tell you, she has some amazing persons on her show, and she is truly driven by God. She's led by God in interviews and choosing the person. So she has an incredible story, y'all. And then we also have Robert Woodbury and Brian McKnight. So Robert Woodbury, he is the founder and producer of the Kingdom Music Group out of Mullins, South Carolina. And his gospel artist, Brian McKnight. Both of them are pastors. They are lifetime friends. And I've been honored to see the growth in each of them, all of us being from the same area. It's just so amazing to see. So you're in for another incredible stories on our show. Join us. We'll be right back.
Coming up, we have Ashli Cotton. We'll be right back.
Ladies, imagining the doctor telling you to give up the idea of being pregnant, or not even knowing that you were pregnant, or even having complications while being pregnant. Our guests tell their stories.
We have Rhonda Sherman and Sabrina Green.
Miracle pregnancies on the next Michael Finkley.
Thursday.
She is flexible and she is a multitasker. She is a wife, a mom. She is city councilwoman.
When I was growing up, Mom worked outside the house, and so my dad was an entrepreneur. I saw him leaving early in the morning or late at nights to go meet with clients, and he was always one who told me, if you show up on time, you're late.
I just admire how she's able to not only juggle the demands of her jobs, but keep her family really first.
The outstanding thing about the Isaac family is their noble contributions to improving the quality of life for our Colombians and people all over this state.
I
I, Tamika Isaac, do solemnly swear.
Discharge the duties thereof, so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and best wishes.
I first ran because I saw a need, I saw a void that needed to be filled, a voice that wasn't there. And over the last several years, I feel like I've been able to be that voice.
So often as women in whatever spaces that we're in, we're often discounted because we're a mom or we're a wife or we have this career, and she's an everyday woman who shows women what excellence looks like.
She has walked the walk of being a small business person, of being a parent, of sending her kids to school.
Columbia is a great place, and we have done a lot in the last few years as far as law enforcement. But law enforcement can't do everything, nor should it do everything. We have to really expand upon the tools, technology, and community policing, investing in our communities so that law enforcement is a partner with our communities. Being a Columbia native, I've seen the way this city has grown. It's grown to the point that sometimes not everybody's been a part of that growth. I want to make sure that communities, specifically communities of color, make sure that they are part of Columbia's present and its future. I want to have a climate plan for this city that not only helps us be sustainable, but also helps provide opportunities for folks in the workforce. There are so many opportunities to take advantage of technology, green energy. I want to be the advocate for growing our city and being on the forefront, not just looking at what other cities are doing and following them, but being the leader.
If you don't have the right leadership, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities.
I think having a woman as mayor of the city of Columbia is long overdue.
I'm Tamika Isaac Devine, and I'm running for mayor of the city of Columbia.
Looking for a mentoring program for your young male between the age of 6 and 18 in Columbia, South Carolina? Well, look no further. Big Homie, Little Homie Mentoring Program is the program for you.
Under the leadership of Mr. Jamal Stroud, Big Homie Little Homie is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that caters and mentors at-risk youth that come from single-parent homes. The organization caters to young males between the ages of 6 and 18 within the greater Columbia area. The organization is devoted to shaping and molding their life into great men of society. Big Homie Little Homie organizes male gatherings, discussions, and even educational assistance devoted to guiding and leading them into a positive light. Making a positive attitude will help in transforming their life regardless of what is experienced in life. For more information on Big Homie Little Homie Mentoring Program, visit our social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. My next guest is the host of the live talk show. She is none other than Ashli Cotton. Ashli, how are you?
Hey, thank you for having me on, Michael. I am very excited. We have been planning this. And, you know, you were on my show back in January, so I'm very excited.
And that's the thing. I love meeting persons with like visions as myself. I was on her show. She's on my show. And I asked the question before. I'm like, does it feel funny being on the other end?
Yes, it does. Because I'm just like, I don't know what to expect, but I know I'm in good hands. So
Of course you are. And so, Ashli, when did you realize a voice that you had to transform? When did that become about?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that question because just to give you a little brief history background about myself, I was molested at 3 years old. Wow. And so when I was molested at 3 years old, I completely shut down to where I stopped talking. Mm-hmm. I retreated within myself. And I had to undergo going to a child psychiatrist. Like I had to do the cognitive puzzles and everything, and little, things of that nature, like different puzzles of certain things around my age or whatever. And I stopped talking. I completely shut down. I could still comprehend what was going on around me, and I can still communicate with pointing or gesturing or anything. But when you stop talking altogether, and your parents are looking at you like, well, maybe something's going on with her. Maybe, she's on the spectrum of, back then it wasn't autism or anything because no one knew about that, but maybe she's retarded or something like that. And I was able to get my voice back, but still my parents didn't know what was going on with me because I couldn't articulate, hey, somebody violated me, something was done to me. But throughout the years, even when I would date men, or when excuse me, I was in an occult ministry, right? Without my free will, because I didn't know, because it didn't start off like that. It was started off with one single ministry, and then another ministry joined with us because we were such a small church that the person who joined our ministry brought the occult, like they were dabbing in witchcraft and stuff. And so again, my voice was taken away from me, because it's like anytime that, there would be a red flag, and I studied, like I read my word, I studied the word. They used the Bible to manipulate the scriptures and everything to work in their favor. But when red flags were happening, I was able to speak up and say, no, that's not right. And because I spoke up, they would constantly beat me down with the word saying, and one of the biggest things was, oh, you're rebellious, you are hard-headed, and so that kind of made me stop, once again, retreating in myself and not express myself verbally until God set me free from that and everything, delivered me from that. And so now that I'm in the position that I am to host a talk show, the live talk show, God has really given me a platform and have really blessed me to be able to use my voice to reach other people and to be transparent and open about things that I've went through. My talk show is about testimonies based off of Revelations 12:11. We overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. And so I put in my book, his life, my testimony. This is my first book that I've ever written, and I pretty much bare my soul in this book, because if I'm in a position where I'm inviting people from different walks of life, from different backgrounds, to speak candidly, to speak openly and transparently about their heart issues, about their life, the things that they had to overcome, then guess what? That's required of me too. And so I put everything from the time that I was conceived, because my mother was pregnant with me at 3 months, and she didn't know she was pregnant with me because she suffered a tubal pregnancy, which damaged one of her tubes. So the doctor says, oh, you can't have any more children. And so she took that and ran with that. But of course, we know that God has other plans. And so when you look at my life from conception all the way up to where I am now, there were some things that I had to walk through. There were some things that I had to endure, whether I wanted to, whether it was from free will, bad choices and decisions that I made, or just by things happening to me that I had to break and work through. So, it's much more than just being seen on social media and having a talk show and I'm a host. This thing for me is ministry. Right. Who can I reach? Who can I relate to and encourage and inspire to just keep going, to stay motivated, just keep going. You're not the only one that is going through and that has went through. And so that's what I do with the talk show.
And I'm glad you mentioned the talk show, because again, from all that you went through and finding your voice, that process, you use your voice now for the good to again help others that may have went through what you went through, or even in their own individual stories. And so through the live talk show, your guests have incredible stories that encourage and motivate and inspire others that are listening. So how do you obtain these persons, and also too, what has how has their stories taught you along the way to just continue on with this project?
Well, how I get my guests, I either have people to recommend people to me.
Mm-hmm.
I either go after the person, like if they share something on social media and they're bearing their soul just for something they're going through, I will reach out to them and say, hey, I would extend an invitation, say, would you like to come on to the Like Talk show, or, to get to know them and their story. And also, that's how I get my guests. And then from the stories that I listen to and people that share, because I don't allow people to tell me beforehand what they're going to talk about. Everything is led by the Holy Spirit, and I'm so serious about it. There's no pre-made anything. And also, with that said, that it's not to put you on blast, it's not to embarrass you, it's not to point the finger or to make you feel uncomfortable. If anything, I create a safe space, and I do let every guest know what this show is about, because the first thing I get is, oh, what questions do you want to ask me? And it's like, no. We allow Holy Spirit, we allow God in this, space to do whatever they want to do. We're not going to put him in a box, but just understand that this is a safe space, and this is not to put you on blast or to make you feel any kind of way. And I think that when people know that, and we dismantle and remove guilt, shame, embarrassment, those things that the enemy has a grip on us, because anything that you keep in darkness, he has rule over it, he has reign over it. But anything that you expose to the light, you get set free, right?
Exactly.
And so that's what I make a point to my guests. And what I've learned from their stories is that, everybody has their process. Everyone has their process. Everyone has their cross to bear, whatever that may be for you. And I say that this is an even level playing field. And, when you come onto the show, it's your story. No one can ever refute your story. No one can ever sit here and say, you never been through that. You lying. That ain't happened to you. If anything, take what that person has gone through, learn from it, and see however they got through it, and know that you can get through it too. And maybe there's some keys there. Maybe there's something that you will catch and apply to your own life.
I love that. And then you talked about your book. What you talk about on your show, your life, your experiences translates to your book, your brand new book. Congratulations. Why is your message important enough to have a book written about it to share to others?
I believe that, it's a number of things. When you grow up with your grandma, your great grandma and everything, and you go to that, one family church, and during that service, people will be able to speak about their testimony. People will be able just to say, you know what, I just want to give God the glory because he's so good. And this is what happened to me, X, Y, Z. And people will have the opportunity to say that. Now in church, you don't have that, because everything is business. Everything is like, go. Okay, we got to keep the time, because boom, right after first service, there's another service to follow, and maybe a third service to follow. And it's just like nonstop, boom, boom, boom. We got to keep this program moving. We got to keep it going. And no one ever seems to be able to give God his glory, his testimony from your story. And it's like, well, is God still moving? Is he still here? Does he care? Does he know what's going on in the world? Yes, he does. And he's still moving. He's still talking. He's still blessing. He hasn't stopped. But if we don't share openly and candidly, if we don't share, then we're his vessels. We're used by him. He's always blessing and moving every day in our lives. But if we don't give him the glory that's due to him, then yeah, it can get lost. Yeah, it can be, oh, just another religion. Oh, just this and just that, when it's not. And, everybody has their story. God led me to put it in a book, because if people ever question or want to know, well, who is she? Well, why she, got these people coming on and telling their stuff, but she ain't never shared her stuff, which I do on the show, But guess what? You can go to Amazon, you can order the book, and this is not a plug or anything, but you can just read it for yourself. You can sit down, curl up on the couch or whatever, and just read it in its entirety if you want to know who I am or what my beginnings have been. And like I said, everyone has a story. Just like when you open up the Bible and you read the book of Job, when you read Genesis and know about Moses and all of that, and Joseph and everybody, well, you have a story too. You have a book too. It's just rather if you want to put it in a literal physical book, or if you want to speak it verbally, but you have a story inside of you as well.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. Our life's testimony. We have it. We have it within ourselves. What's next for Ashli? What is Ashli currently working on now?
Well, I am a transformational life coach. So I do help single mothers, single women to really tap into what God has given them to do. So it's transforming into your destiny. And I'm all about purpose. You know, everything that I do is strategic. Everything I do, it has purpose to it, substance to it. And so I am a single parent. So this is something that I know. I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. I'm a single parent, and God had to close the door on my 9-to-5 job on March 15th of 2019. And he brought me and circled me right back to what I'm doing now for being a talk show host for him, for his purpose. And the debut of the show was March 30th of 2019, but God gave me the idea, and I was actually doing a talk show back in 2010 in California. So he's brought this thing right back around to me to say, this is your purpose. This is what I planned for you. And so you do it. So there's the transformational life coach, where, you know, helping them to get to their destiny, and also just transforming the mind. You know, everything starts in our thought process. Everything starts in our mind. And so once you get this corrected, the way you think, not only speaking life and death, because there's power in your tongue, but power in your thoughts, power in your mind too. And once you get that centered and aligned according to God and what he thinks of you and what he says about you, and you take on that identity, then everything will begin to flow for you. I also have a school course online as well, that the life coaching, and that goes hand in hand too. So if you want to sign up, it's a 5-week course and 17 lessons. And each week you do the modules, as well as me coaching you through it and encouraging you, or whatever else you may need for your success. The next thing is I'm a notary. So I'm a online, mobile, you know, certified trained notary as well. So all of these different businesses and things that God has placed in me to do, because for me, it's about kingdom. It's about advancing the kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. So with these kingdom businesses that he has given me, it's creating jobs. It is doing business the right way with honesty, integrity, and character, versus what corporate American, versus how the world conduct business. And I really believe that this is a time for the believer, for the remnant, for his bride to really step up to the plate and be the solution, to have the answer. You know, it's ministry.
Amazing. Amazing. Oh, that's so good. I love the way you say kingdom businesses. Oh,
right. We're not doing no more religion. We're not sitting up here faking the funk. We're not, because people need something new. People need something different. And your witness is what's going to get people, not so much mouth service, because however God is using this COVID-19, it's exposing a lot. It's exposing a lot. And it's also going to raise up his church, his people, the way he intended it to be. So, yeah.
Kingdom building. I love it. How can they find you on social media? And one more time, how can they purchase your book?
Well, you can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook underneath Ashli Cotton, just the way my name is spelled. And I'm also on Instagram on, my Instagram is ACBABI01. And also the Life Talk Show is, you know, on Instagram, and also on Facebook, my business page is the Life Talk Show. And so you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube underneath the Life Talk Show. You can find me on Instagram, and also on LinkedIn, Ashli Cotton on LinkedIn. And you can find my book on Amazon. So if you type in Ashli Cotton or his life, my testimony, the book will come up. It looks exactly like this, and you can purchase it and read it. I think that it'll minister. I think it'll bless, because one thing about me, Michael, I'm very transparent.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very open. I don't mind sharing what I've been through if it's going to help and encourage someone.
Exactly.
And my whole thing is that I don't want to be phony. I think people pick up on that. I'm not a phony person. People will pick up on that quickly, like, you're not authentic. And people want authenticity. People want to see you for who you are.
Exactly. Definitely. Especially in this time we live in now. We have to be real. We have to be genuine and live authentically. Thank you so much, Ashli Cotton, for being on with us today. We really appreciate your knowledge, your experience, and your words. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Michael. You have a wonderful, blessed day, and also your audience as well. And thank you guys for watching.
Oh, love it. We'll be right back.
Next, we have Pastors Robert Woodbury and Brian McKnight. We'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Toby. You know me from Sister Act 2, Mr. Oh Happy Day, and the hit R&B group City High. I'm welcoming everybody to join and tune into the Michael Finkley Show on YouTube and also on the Greater Works Network on Roku TV. Don't forget to subscribe.
Need a little motivation?
Timothy Clifton is with us every week on Mondays to get your week started with a little motivation, all here on the Michael Finkley Show.
Calling all Trio, Gear Up, JAG, and other college readiness organizations. Hello everybody, it's Finkley with the Finkley Experience. I am here to offer you information about our college readiness cohort series.
This college readiness series includes college applications, SAT/ACT prep, scholarships, financial aid, the mental mind state, HBCU versus PWI versus technical colleges, and so much more.
You know, this is helpful because it's actually like making me change my college plan.
Really? If interested, visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com or just email us at michael@thefinkleyexperience.com. We're looking forward to working with you.
The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The name is righteous every time.
Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Now, you just heard a snippet of Power in His Name by Pastor Brian McKnight. Now, he sits within the music group label of Kingdom Music Group. Founder is here, Pastor Robert Woodbury, and also artist, Pastor Brian McKnight. Hello.
How you doing? Good.
It's so good to see y'all again.
Yes,
now,
sir.
they may look familiar because Pastor Woodbury has been here 3 times. This is his 3rd time, and Pastor McKnight has been with us. This is his 2nd time. But we know that every time they come on, there's always some good happening. So we really appreciate you all. Appreciate you all once more. Thank you.
Wow.
So
starting to feel like a regular here.
Well, you know what? We can make that happen. Listen,
let's talk about it. Regular co-host, right?
Yes, sir. I love it. Pastor Woodbury, so you have this awesome music production company, Kingdom Music Group. How did this get started?
Yeah. Well, it's I can just basically tell you it started about 10 years ago. And if I be honest with you, it's nothing really that I've pushed out there as far as, getting it out in media and really trying to promote. If I be honest with you, it came out of a vision. It came out of what I felt to be a necessity in the body of Christ at the time. God gave me a vision. There was my mother-in-law at the time who God had placed upon her heart to release an album. And so as I was in the craft and learning the craft, God just began to put me around the right people, and he began to link me with the right people to learn the craft.
Yep.
And that's how it started. So it happened out of necessity. I believe God sincerely has placed in me a desire to help our local artists, the ones that are going places and doing great things for the kingdom. And so that's how it all began.
I love it. Right there in Mullins, South Carolina. I love it. Big things come out of Mullins, big things are happening in the Mullins. I love that. And so what is the mission and the purpose behind this production company?
Yeah, absolutely. It's simply just to undergird the kingdom mission, the kingdom sound, right? So I believe wholeheartedly that the kingdom of God has a sound, and it's that of worship, it's that of praise. It's a sound that connects the people of God to heaven. It's a sound that unites heaven and earth. And so it's always been my goal that when God puts me in the company, in the presence of those who are seeking to record, and he connects us to make sure that that sound comes forth and gets to the ears of the people.
I love it. So in 10 years, how many artists have come through your company?
Yeah, I would say dozens, and we've had some really great local artists that have come. One of them is right here on the show with us today, but dozens we have opportunity to work with and to produce.
I love it. So let's talk with that local artist, Pastor Brian McKnight. You already have the name, right? You already have the name. So how did this relationship start and actually getting your project out there?
Well, I would say, I've been friends with Pastor for a long time. I won't go back on some of those stories, but he's always just been who he is, the same person now. And I'll say throughout the years of us just sharing visions and dreams, aspirations and goals, I think if we actually done everything that we've talked about, all of us would probably be rich by now. But it's yet unfolding. But kind of the thing that kind of urged me to record the song, I wrote this song maybe about 10 years ago, actually.
Wow.
But what pushed me was a guy had passed away. I know his name is Bishop Ralph Graves, and he played organ, recorded songs, and the day he passed, I found out it was as if the Holy Spirit spoke to me and was like, you need to put something in the earth. And his death is the thing that drove me to like, you need to make this happen. And I think that all of us have so much that God has placed in us, but we just sit on it. And we take so much, as Dr. Miles Monroe said, if you want to find where value is, where books have not been written, songs have not been recorded, business have not been built, empires, go to the graveyard. There's so much value. So that his death gave life to something that God has put in me. I'll say it like that.
That's just amazing to hear. That's amazing to hear.
Sure.
But you didn't sit on this gift. And the gift now is being heard by millions upon millions of persons. So please tell us about the process it went through to actually record this single that you have, Power in His Name. What did that look like?
Wow. I don't know if Pastor want to go.
Yeah, sure. I'll start by saying this: the part that he left out, and like you said, we're good friends. But the part that he left out is when he presented the song to me and he gave me the backstory. And I think the original recording might have just been something on the phone that he sent over to me. The concept. And so when the idea started coming together, and it was finally, the finalization of the process being, or the final result that we desired being that of a live concert. We literally, I think, had maybe a month or so.
We did it in a month.
Right, to make it happen. If it was going to happen, was it your birthday, Pastor?
Yeah.
So we had a hard date that we had to try to hit. So he went from just concept to full finished product in really about a month's time.
Oh wow, that's a short period of time.
Right.
It is.
Right.
And I think the thing that helped a whole lot was you got to find a producer or a person who care about you and the project.
Right.
Not just about trying to record just to make money, but I guess where I know something that helped out a whole lot was he drilled me to kind of get out the concept. How you want this to sound? You want it to be a country song? You want it to be an R&B? You know what I'm saying. But to actually just drill the concept of it, it goes back to that old saying that says it's best to measure 10 times and cut once than to cut once, shouldn't measure at all. You know, so all of that helped to really bring us to a concept that even when opposition came, we had the foundation of everything. Okay, listen, I'm going right back to that. Versus if we just said, oh, we about to just do something and don't have a plan. Planning is key. Planning is key. You got to have a plan.
Definitely a plan. And so in going forward with that plan, Pastor McKnight, where has your song been playing the most? What radio stations? And I know, how does it feel just to have something out there, right?
Well, it's a great accomplishment. I've heard it for the first time. I've heard it on Joy 1280, I think it was. And then I heard it on, WJY, Joy 1280. And then I heard it on 105.1. And so, you know, Spotify, iTunes, I believe it is, Apple Music and YouTube and Amazon. All that stuff.
Gotcha.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Everybody can hear the goodness. Pastor Woodbury, as a producer, what do you expect out of your artist?
Probably the number one thing is preparation. Just like
I know.
my brother was saying earlier. If you're prepared, it makes the process a whole lot easier. Especially one of the things, or I put it this way, my focus area, my niche is that of live recordings, because that's where I feel like you can get the most energy and passion when it comes to worship. And sometimes we do hybrid. But preparation is important, because if you're not prepared, you'll hear it coming out of that project every time you play it. So being prepared is number one. That's a must. You got to be prepared, or else everything just falls apart. And it goes back to, you know, a sense of kingdom excellence as well. So we're doing this as a kingdom work, then we have to have excellence. We have to operate in excellence, and we have to operate at a certain level that even the secular world, or even that of the more professional side of production, is operating at. It's expected. You got to be prepared.
Yes. Got to be prepared. I love that. And then that preparation, Pastor McKnight, what's next? What's next for you?
I would say to actually push this project, and also to record the other songs also. So the ultimate goal is to complete a whole CD. But I think it's best if you take it step instead of trying to cram everything at once. It can be a lot on you, because, you know, thank God this song, it was not as hectic to get done, but there is a process in it. It's not just a recording piece. That's one piece, but to go back and overdub and to go back and make sure everything is right, or, you know, it's a whole lot, and it can become frustrating at times. Because oftentimes when we hear a recording, we think, oh man, I sound good at the church, I sound good in the studio, but once you go back and really hear it, you're like, whoa, it's not as good as what I thought it was.
Only imagine.
I'll say thank God for Pastor, because he kind of kept me calm. You know, there was certain times I think he told what you call a white lie.
No.
Hey, he told me, it's all right. It's gonna be all right, and it wasn't all right, to be honest.
but we learned though, right?
Yeah. He, you know, I say, you know, he was speaking in the future, you know.
Right.
But at that moment, it wasn't all right. But to keep me calm,
had to keep encouraged.
It kept me encouraged. It kept me calm, because if not, it's like, oh my God, like that didn't happen. Oh man, this person was doing this. They weren't supposed to do that. it will have you become just all over the place and get discouraged. And that's the thing. In the recording, you have to have a certain energy. And even though people can't see you, they can sense and feel you. Right. So if I'm frustrated, it's going to sound like that through the recording. If I'm mad, it's going to sound like that. So you want to make sure that your countenance, your emotions, and everything is calm.
I can add there's a level of complexity, that Pastor was referring to, especially when you're talking about live recordings. There's a level. When you're talking about energy, I remember at his recording, again, everything was crunch time. But I think it started, Pastor, at 5:00, and Pastor operating in excellence. 5:00 is when you want to start, and the doors were closed, and of course this was pre-COVID, but the doors were closed. Yeah, the doors opened up, and people just flood. I mean, the sanctuary was just flooded with people in a matter of just moments, standing room only.
Look now, this was playing in less than a month. Mm-hmm. Not no airtime, none of that, just Facebook posts. And
absolutely. And so we're standing room only, and having some technical difficulties with some of the things that were going on that Pastor was referring to earlier. But as he was saying before, the energy, the Spirit of God still has to be at the forefront, right? God has to be present. We can't get so mechanical and bogged down in what's happening and what's not happening that the presence of God isn't there. So there's a fine balance. That's why I said it's complex in performing in front of people, because it has to be visually and audibly pleasing. Right. But yet at the same time, you have to have the presence of God in the place so that he can move. But yet then you have some technical things like breathing and making sure we're technically correct as far as singing and performance is concerned. And I remember, I'm going to move on, but I remember we recorded the first song. And I think, Pastor, you had like 7 songs in the concert.
Yes, sir.
With collaboration choir, but only one of those songs was being recorded for this particular project. And so after the first song was recorded, he got ready. He was transitioning to the next song, and I had to stop him. I had to send word, hey, we need to go back and do it again. And so the entire church turned back and looked at me like, are you serious? Like, we didn't get that. They were sweating. The praise had went forth and the energy was there. It was a great performance. It sounded great. It looked great. Everything was there. The crowd was there. But part of that technical aspect, making sure I did my job as a producer, I said, hey, let's run it again. And so, believe it or not, that second performance was just as good as the first one. Right. And I think when we finally went to post-production, we ended up using that first performance, which is what you're hearing. So there's a lot of complex parts, moving parts.
Yeah. I love that. At the end of
the day, it worked out great.
Yeah. Awesome. Pastor McKnight, how can they find this awesome song on different platforms?
Sure thing. I have copies also here, but you can go on, as I said, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, all of those. It's on every major platform. I would prefer you purchase a copy and and go on those other platforms. And here is why. If you're going to really record music, you have to do it from your heart. Yeah. Because financially, you're going to put more in it financially than you really get out of it.
Right.
Like, it's a lot that goes in it, and I thank God for him being so gracious because I'm telling you, outside of just, if you had you say, I got to take care of producing and all of that, I'm not even talking about that, just getting documents, all kind of stuff, it costs. And so that's why I tell people, go on Spotify, YouTube is free, but at the same time, these places I can buy, like, my song can be bought for like $180 something, or $199 per song, which that does a great disservice to the artist. Okay. So let's try to really encourage them to keep making more music.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a way I would say to encourage them is to purchase the CD and don't copy it either and hand it out for free.
That's right.
My God, not the bootleg. Jesus.
Yeah. We don't want a bootleg. Yeah. So
that's it. I love
everywhere.
it. Oh yeah. And Pastor Woodbury, how can they learn more about Kingdom Music Group? And are you looking for new artists?
Yeah, absolutely. I am looking for new artists that are searching and desiring to display and to release the sound of heaven into the earth. And you can reach out to me. You can email me at robertlwoodbury@gmail.com. That's Robert L. Woodbury, WOODBURY@gmail.com. Or you can find me on Facebook and inbox me, and we can connect that way.
All right, you heard it here, Pastor Woodbury, Pastor McKnight. Thank you so much for being with us.
I appreciate you
with your words, your wisdom, and your knowledge. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you, my friend.
Always good to be here.
Yes, sir. We're right back.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Trinice from American Idol, and I am encouraging you to tune into the Michael Finkley Show on Roku TV and YouTube.
I'm just not college material. I am tired of school. I'm just not sure what I want to do after graduation. Sound familiar? Welcome to the Prelo Educational Institute. Our focus is to help young people prepare for life after high school. It's never too early to start planting the seed for education, career, and life overall. The Prelo Educational Institute is made up of the following 2 products. The first product is the book titled I Ain't Going to College, A Guide for Life After High School. This is the first book of a series that introduces middle and high school students to a young man struggling to find his way and make the decision about whether attending college is the right choice for him or not. The book has questions inside, and a supplemental curriculum can also be purchased. The newest product from the Prelo Educational Institute is our online course titled Preparing for Life After High School. In this course, students will learn about decision-making, self-confidence, accountability, self-awareness, and many other topics that speak to social-emotional learning. Young people will read a story about a young man who never gave up no matter what the circumstances were. The course is interactive and has questions, quizzes, and video. Do not wait until your child or student is a senior in high school to start planning. Enroll today. To enroll and learn more, please visit www.speakerauthormarlowe.com.
On the next Michael Finkley.
Shawnee Scott and Chaz Jackson are with us
next Finkley.
Friday.
Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. What did you learn? You know, I was going to ask you, what did you learn? I hope that you learned something that fed your spirit, that fed your overall being, and also, too, with the mindset of you can still accomplish anything that you set your heart and mind and soul to. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Brian, for being on and telling your stories and encouraging, motivating, and inspiring others, and as well, hopefully, yourselves along the way. Thank you so much for being with us. On the next Michael Finkley, we are talking with brave women who at one point when the doctors told them that they could not get pregnant, right? Or when they were having complications, or when they didn't even know that they were pregnant, but still had complications along the way. Yes, we have Rhonda Sherman and we also have Sabrina Green, and they are candid with us and telling their stories in their own words. So it's another show you don't want to miss on Thursday. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Michael Finkley Show. Ring the bell for notification. We'll see you an email saying, hey, new content's uploaded. Again, please listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And for up-to-date information about The Michael Finkley Show, please visit our website at michaelfinkley.com. Thank you so much for being with us and watching. And guess what? We'll see you Thursday. Have a good one.